tragic new details change everything about Rob Reiner's death. Rob Reiner was born on March 6, 1947 in New York City. He was almost destined for a life in show business. He is the son of legendary comedian, actor, writer, and director Carl Reiner and actress Estelle Reiner. Growing up in a household where creativity, humor, and sharp social observation were part of everyday life. From an early age, Reiner absorbed the rhythms of comedy and storytelling, not as an abstract art form, but as a living, breathing craft practiced at the highest level. Reiner first rose to prominence as an actor in the 1970s, becoming a household name through his role as Michael Meathead Stivic on the groundbreaking television sitcom All in the Family. Airing from 1971 to 1979, the series was revolutionary for its willingness to confront controversial social and political issues head-on, and Reiner's character served as a liberal counterpoint to Archie Bunker's conservative worldview. With his earnest idealism, frequent indignation, and comic timing, Reiner helped turn Meathead into one of the most memorable characters in television history. The role earned him multiple Emmy Awards and established him not only as a gifted comedic performer, but also as an actor unafraid to engage with challenging material. For many viewers, Reiner became a symbol of a generational shift in American culture, reflecting the debates, tensions, and aspirations of the era. Yet, it was behind the camera that Rob Reiner would ultimately define his greatest legacy. Transitioning from acting to directing in the 1980s, he quickly demonstrated an extraordinary range and an almost uncanny instinct for storytelling. His directorial debut, This is Spinal Tap, 1984, co-written with Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer, became one of the most celebrated comedies of all time. Presented as a mockumentary following a fictional British rock band, the film was both hilarious and incisively observant, skewering the excesses of rock culture while affectionately celebrating its absurdities. Over time, This is Spinal Tap transcended cult status to become a cultural touchstone, influencing generations of comedians and filmmakers and even shaping the language of popular culture. What followed was one of the most remarkable directing streaks in modern Hollywood. Reiner proved he was not confined to comedy, but capable of mastering virtually any genre he chose. With The Sure Thing, 1985, he delivered a smart and heartfelt romantic comedy. Stand By Me, 1986, adapted from a Stephen King novella, revealed his ability to capture the emotional truth of adolescence, blending nostalgia, humor, and quiet heartbreak into a timeless coming-of-age story. The film resonated deeply with audiences and critics alike, cementing Reiner's reputation as a director of uncommon sensitivity and insight. He continued this extraordinary run with The Princess Bride, 1987, a film that defied easy categorization by blending fantasy, romance, adventure, and comedy into a singular, endlessly quotable classic. Though modestly received at the box office upon release, it grew into one of the most beloved films of all time, cherished across generations for its wit, warmth, and sincerity. Reiner's direction struck a perfect balance between irony and genuine emotion, allowing the film to parody fairy tales while simultaneously honoring their enduring power. Reiner's versatility was further demonstrated with When Harry Met Sally, 1989. Widely regarded as one of the greatest romantic comedies ever made, the film explored love, friendship, and the complexities of modern relationships with humor and honesty, anchored by iconic performances and a screenplay by Nora Ephron. Its influence on the genre has been profound, setting a standard that filmmakers continue to emulate decades later. Reiner followed this with Misery, 1990, a tense psychological thriller that earned Kathy Bates an Academy Award for Best Actress, proving once again his ability to draw powerful performances and maintain gripping suspense. Throughout the 1990s, Reiner continued to explore diverse themes and styles, directing films such as A Few Good Men, 1992, a courtroom drama that combined moral complexity with razor-sharp dialogue, and The American President, 1995, which blended romance and political idealism. Even when his later films received mixed critical responses, Reiner's commitment to character-driven storytelling and emotional clarity remained evident. In June 2021, Reiner said that he was working on a 10 to 13 episode TV project covering the relationship between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. The project, he said, would cover the leaders' childhoods up until the point where their lives cross. Reiner said he's working with writer Ward Perry on the project, which he's calling The Spy and the Asset. Rob Reiner's personal life has long been intertwined with the creative circles of Hollywood, and his marriages in particular reflect both his emotional journey and the evolution of his career as a filmmaker. Rob Reiner married actress, director, and producer Penny Marshall in 1971, at a time when both were rising figures in television and comedy. Their relationship grew out of a shared sensibility shaped by humor, performance, and a deep understanding of the entertainment industry. Marshall, who would later become one of Hollywood's most successful female directors, was already making a name for herself as a performer, while Reiner was becoming widely recognized for his role as Michael Meathead Stivic on All in the Family. Their marriage symbolized a creative partnership as much as a romantic one, rooted in mutual respect and a shared work ethic. During their marriage, Reiner adopted Marshall's daughter, Tracy Reiner, from her previous marriage to actor Michael Henry. By legally adopting Tracy, Reiner made a clear and lasting commitment to fatherhood, embracing the responsibilities of raising a child as his own. Tracy would later follow in the family tradition by becoming an actress herself, appearing in films such as A League of Their Own, which was directed by her mother. Reiner's role as Tracy's adoptive father reflected his belief in family as something defined by love and responsibility rather than biology alone, and he remained a supportive presence in her life even after his marriage to Marshall ended. Although Reiner and Marshall shared many happy years together, the pressures of demanding careers and personal differences eventually took their toll. In 1981, after a decade of marriage, the couple divorced. Despite the end of their romantic relationship, they maintained mutual respect and continued to speak warmly of one another in later years. Their divorce marked a turning point for both individuals. Marshall would go on to direct some of the most successful comedies of the 1980s and 1990s, while Reiner transitioned more fully into directing, soon establishing himself as one of Hollywood's most versatile and acclaimed filmmakers. A significant new chapter in Reiner's personal life began several years later during the production of When Harry Met Sally, one of the defining romantic comedies of his career. While directing the film, Reiner was introduced to photographer Michelle Singer. At the time, Reiner was navigating life after divorce, and his conversations with Singer profoundly influenced both his emotional outlook and his creative decisions. Their discussions about love, relationships, and commitment reportedly played a key role in Reiner's decision to alter the film's ending. Rather than leaving the characters in emotional ambiguity, Reiner chose to give the story a hopeful, affirming conclusion, one that mirrored his own renewed belief in lasting love. The connection between Reiner and Singer deepened beyond professional or philosophical influence, growing into a committed romantic relationship. In 1989, they married, beginning a partnership that would become the most enduring of Reiner's life. Unlike his first marriage, which unfolded during the early stages of his fame, Reiner's marriage to Singer coincided with his maturity as both a man and an artist. Their relationship was characterized by stability, mutual support, and a shared focus on family life. Even as Reiner continued to direct major films, Reiner and Singer raised 3 children. Their eldest son, Jake Reiner, was born in 1991, followed by Nick Reiner in 1993, and their daughter, Romy Reiner, in 1997. Fatherhood played a central role in Reiner's life during these years, grounding him amid the pressures of Hollywood and shaping his perspective on storytelling, relationships, and responsibility. He has often spoken about how becoming a parent deepened his emotional awareness and reinforced the values of empathy and connection that run through many of his films. Reiner's marriage to Michelle Singer has been widely regarded as a source of personal fulfillment and emotional balance. Their long-lasting relationship stands in contrast to the volatility often associated with celebrity marriages, highlighting Reiner's evolution from a young television star into a seasoned filmmaker and family man. Together, these relationships, his early marriage to Penny Marshall and his enduring partnership with Michelle Singer, form an essential part of Rob Reiner's life story, reflecting both his personal growth and the experiences that subtly but powerfully influenced his work as a director. On the morning of December 14, 2025, emergency responders from the Los Angeles Fire Department were dispatched to a quiet, tree-lined street in the affluent Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles after a welfare check request raised concerns at a well-known private residence. The home, long associated with filmmaker and actor Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer, had reportedly been uncharacteristically silent for several days. No answered calls, no visible activity, and no response to repeated attempts at contact by close associates. Upon entry, first responders made a grim discovery. Inside the residence, authorities found two deceased individuals, a 78-year-old male and a 68-year-old female. At the time of the initial report, officials deliberately withheld the identities of the deceased following